Welcome back, Healthies. Well, today I'm very excited because we are kicking off our Holistically Healthy segment. And have I got the guest for you? I know a lot of you already know about it because you've been up in my DMs asking who is that, where I've been hiding her.
Dr. Kaye Rabel is a learning scientist and performance improvement expert who's experienced in leading global organizations in learning architecture, human performance technology, strategic communication, change management, leadership development, performance management, and knowledge continuity that always leads to measurable returns on investments. Kay contributes to the field as a researcher. She's also a K-Fit mindset coach, a model, and an author. Now, Kay has an earned PhD, not an honorary doctorate. And the only thing more healthy than she is her humility.
I'm going to bring her on so you can meet her. Dr. Kaye Rabel, how are you?
I am doing well, Sheree. How are you?
Doing fantastic. That background is looking just wonderful, so relaxing, where I need to be instead of work.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
And thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here and chat with you.
We're excited to have you. And ever since I released your introduction video, which I did, I think over the weekend, the guys have been in my DM. Who is she? Where you been hiding her? So I'm going to make an official statement because I'm not going to have anyone hunting me down to kill me over Kaye Rabel. Hey, are you available? Are you on the market before we learn more about you? Let's get that out the way.
Well, no, I absolutely and positively off the market and getting married in October. April.
I was like, wait a minute. The date pushed back and I got my ticket. I'm mad.
No. April.
That's fantastic news. So, gentlemen, you've heard it. No, you cannot get her digits. You can't get anything. And Bill, you can't kill me because I made it clear up front. Okay. Listen, it's really good to have you on today. And let's go on and get started. And thank you, first of all, for having lunch with me. I've got a chicken salad today. Let's see if I can show you guys my chicken salad. Yeah, it is.
Yummy.
I am excited about it. So I'm going to be munching on that as we chat. And what do you have for lunch?
Well, I kind of had lunch earlier, but I am showcasing a healthy snack that, I'll just keep by my desk when I want something. So this is my healthy snack for today, blueberries full of antioxidants, and I'm a water drinker, so water. But what I had for lunch, I made a zucchini parmesan, and that was what I had for lunch. So, but just want to clarify, it was not breaded. It was sliced zucchini, baked in tomato sauce with a little mozzarella on top.
Oh, that sounds delicious. I've got to do my my zucchini noodles for the healthies. I haven't cooked that one yet, and I my daughter loves it, so I'm gonna have to do that real soon. Well, listen, just a brief intro for those of you who haven't watched the introduction video. I am going to include it here just so you can see it if you haven't seen it already. But Kay is a woman who wears too many hats, just to be real honest. And we don't have the time to go through everything that the introduction video does, so I'll let you look at that. But she is a senior leader with a professional services firm. She's a K-Fit model. She is a exercise enthusiast and the most healthiest person I could think of when I thought, who can we have to kick off our Holistically Healthy segment? And so Dr. Kaye Rabel is with us, and we are so glad to have you. All right, so let's get started. Tell us how you define holistic health.
So for me, holistically healthy is, if you will, a trinity. It's mind, it's body, it's soul. It's all of those for me. It's having a healthy mindset, having healthy thoughts, honoring your temple. your body, putting healthy things in it, doing things that honor your body and honor your health and contribute and align to that. And then for me, soul, spirituality,
Yeah.
um, being connected to more, having a purpose in life, for me, all come together to be holistically healthy.
I agree with that. Well said.
Thank you.
So let's see. If you've got a person like me, and you know me, so we'll pretend you don't know. Like me, who's not very healthy in all three areas as you are, where would we start? So where would a person like me start, particularly inactive?
So I would say first mindset, right?
Mhm.
Because I feel like the mind filters down to everything else. Um, Taking a step back, having some self awareness, understanding where you are in all three areas, and having an honest look at yourself and being able to assess that. Because I feel like that is knowing, as GI Joe says, knowing is half the battle. So starting with the mindset and being honest with yourself and growing toward a growth mindset, an abundance mindset, and that is the input to being able to change the areas in your life that you want to change, whether it be physically, spiritually. It's first starting with the mind. And when you get the mind on board,
Okay.
it's a powerful, a very powerful tool, and could bring everything else and bring everything else in order as far as what goals you want to achieve and where you want to go.
And I've noticed that about you. You do. You have a very positive mindset. And I remember, let me get my camera over. I remember when we first met, you were telling me about how you knew that it was because of your exercising that contributed to your positive mindset. And I would agree. Exercising definitely releases those. Is it endorphins or dopamine? You'll tell us. You'll get us straight with
Endorphins,
endorphins. See,
endorphins,
yes,
endorphins. It's
and it
amazing.
does. It makes me feel so much better. I hate going, but once I do, I feel 100% better. So yeah, it is. That is definitely starting with the mindset. So I agree with that 100%. Now, what contributes to the healthy mindset? Let's stay with the mind for a minute.
I just feel like early, like as a child, I really would, where I grew up, there were a variety of things around me, right? And I would look at examples of the things that I wanted and like study what are the attributes of those people that have those things, and a positive, healthy growth mindset was the thing. And then it just so happened to be those people were also physically fit.
Yeah.
And so, and then for me also to exercise, I started out running. I was a runner,
Wow.
and I started running in elementary school, and that did it in middle school, high school, college, and running was really my first um, main core exercise. And runner's high that you hear about,
Yeah.
it's a true thing when you get to a point. And as you mentioned, um, some days you want to get out there and go crazy running, and some days you don't want to. And the days you don't want to, that's when you just keep pushing, and then you get to that runner's high, and you feel the release of the endorphins, and you feel good. So I just ramped a lot. I don't know if I answered your question though.
You did. You did. You did. And that runner's high is something that I've not experienced, but I have in less active, activities. The treadmill probably gives it to me. I've stayed on that an hour.
Yes.
Don't do any more than that. Running, and you hit upon something that I've told my daughter about. So I'm going to circle back to that one because I know it's true. You started running. Did you say middle school or elementary?
Elementary
Elementary.
school.
And that's why it's a habit with you now that isn't drudgery, because I noticed that the earlier we start a habit, the easier it is to keep it going versus when you get old like me. It's challenging to, want to get off the couch and do physical activities that are that engaging. So it is definitely something that the earlier you start, I think you'll have more success. And you certainly, I never hear you complaining about exercising. In fact, I'll hear you say, oh, stressful day, I'm going to work out. So you're the opposite. You will go and work out if you get stressed. And I think that's because you've just trained your body to appreciate and need that. And that's a really, really good thing. You mentioned a little bit about your lunch, which sounded very healthy. Start talking to us a little bit about healthy eating. Specifically, what's all this talk I hear about whole foods and plant-based foods? What's that about?
So eating, healthy eating. On my health and fitness journey, you hear about all these different diets,
Yes.
paleo, keto, like
Yeah.
all these different things. For me, in my research, what I found is whole food, plant-based. I mean, I do eat animal sources of protein. There was one point when I didn't,
Okay.
and it just didn't work the best for me. So I did slowly incorporate those back. But whole food, plant-based, what I mean by that, whole foods, not processed. Like you're gonna go to the grocery store and you're going to get fresh food, fruits, vegetables, whatever like protein source you want to use, like chicken or seafood. And I do a lot of my own cooking. I feel like from a perspective of knowing what I'm eating, really understanding, what's in it. I do meal prep. I did meal prep yesterday, meal prep Sundays. And so that's what I mean. It's like staying, if you go to the grocery store or the supermarket, staying out of those middle aisles, right? Because if you buy it in a box or it's frozen, stay on the outskirts.
Everybody
Stay
has
away from
told
those
me
middle
that. I
aisles.
know it's true. So I got to shop the outskirts, which means I'm left with my milk, my dairy, my veggies, and fruit.
Yes.
Nothing quick, right?
Nothing quick. And it's one of those things. I think they're no, like, when you really want to get results, there are no shortcuts.
That's true. That
There are
is
no
very true.
shortcuts. And it's like it's an intentional thing. When I cook on the weekends or I'm doing my meal prep, it's almost for me a ritual, right? Because I'm doing something where I'm making these foods, healthy foods that's going to honor my body.
Yeah.
And I made a conscious, intentional choice about what I'm eating and how I'm preparing it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I know that's true about you. You basically do keep your meals, relatively healthy. Occasionally you allow yourself a little treat, but definitely not on a daily
Yes.
basis. And that's what's important. I think you practice eating healthier more days than you don't. And I found that balance. If I do, eat healthy at least 5 days out of the week, that can tend to help me with the weight control. So I agree with that wholeheartedly. And that middle aisle kills me every time. So I know that one there is definitely a true one. What about metabolic rates? I've heard about that. Talk to me a little bit. What is it, and why is it important?
So your metabolic rate is important to know. Well, first off, what it is the rate at which the amount of calories your body burns to carry out basic metabolic functions, right? So if
Yeah.
you don't go exercise or do anything else, it's to carry out those main bodily functions. And the significance of knowing your metabolic rate is to be able to, so if you need to lose weight, losing weight essentially is creating a caloric deficit. It's
Yeah.
eating less calories, or a combination of eating less calories and or burning calories to eat less than your metabolic rate. So therefore you're creating a deficit. For example, my metabolic rate is approximately 1,400 calories a day. So if I want to lose weight, I have to eat less than that, or exercise and expend calories to burn calories. So if I want to lose weight, maybe I'll eat my 1,400 calories, but then I'll exercise and burn 600
Yeah.
calories. So now I've created a caloric deficit, if I did my math right, of 200. And
Mhm.
so to lose a pound equals 3,500 calories. So in
Wow.
order to lose a pound, you need to collectively cut 3,500 calories somewhere. And that could be a combination of reducing the amount of calories you take in from that metabolic rate,
Right.
or and adding exercise to that.
Yeah. And I know you have a great balance with all three areas. That's why you're holistically healthy. Um, so if I can only do one to start with, which one do you think I should start focusing on?
I would say first start focusing. I mean, that's a good question because it's like chicken, who crosses the road first? Um, I'll give an example of myself. When the holidays come and I might go off the rails a little bit and indulge a little bit, I will make sure that I continue working out to keep my body still active and activating that muscle memory daily. And then January starts up, I'm like, I rein in the diet and make sure I'm back in, balance with maintaining uh, it, my healthy routine. So thinking about myself, I would say physical activity first. Get in the mindset of doing the exercises. And I mean, from that perspective, you're already decreasing, like you're burning calories. So you're going to reduce, you're going to burn. So that might even activate the weight loss. And it's also like kickstarting your metabolism, getting that going. So I would say start with the exercise first
Okay.
and then hone in on the diet. Um, there have been times, for example, that may have injury
Okay.
and I'm limited as far as what I could do, or I've had friends and they were limited as far as what they could do. And so in that instance, then, if physical activity is limiting, then look at the caloric intake and reduce that based on the reduced activity. But to get started, I would say first start with the exercise. Get in the habit of working out. Get in the habit of moving,
Right.
and you know, baby steps.
Yeah.
Activity, then hone in on that diet.
Yeah. And, I was thinking 1,400 calories is a lot. I'm serious. I limit myself between 1,000 and 12, but that's for maintenance. And we know I'm not expending much. So that's why I have to do the lower. But it's your 1,400 that just impresses me because that means that workout that you're doing is really contributing to a lot of your health because it is really, really fit. That's great. Okay. Let's talk about given your schedule. And I know how crazy it is, how do you prioritize exercising? Because you don't miss. I don't care what's going on. You don't miss your exercise routine. I've watched you.
Well, I mean, different depending upon what's going on. There have been different times where I trained in the morning, and then sometimes where, if permitted, training in the middle of the day or after work. Right now, I'm in a season in my life where after work is where it works best. But
Right.
I'm a very big advocate in writing things down. Um, Goals that I have in life, diet, like whatever. I write it down. So each week, and I have a little composition book, and it has years full of workouts. And
Wow.
what I do is, I just make a little table that goes Monday through Sunday, and I write down what I'm going to do for the week. And if I write it down, like I stick to it, I'm going to do
Yeah.
it. Like that's my commitment to myself. And that's how, I stay on track. I write it down, I look at it, and I commit to doing it.
That's one thing I've never tried. And I'm a writer, so I like writing everything down, but I've never written down an exercise plan and stick to it. That may help. Okay. That's a good tip. Thank you for that one. Did I tell
You're
you about
welcome.
the time that I hired a personal trainer? Did I mention that?
No, no, no. Yeah, I don't think we touched on that one.
No, we didn't. So I hired this personal trainer because it was the new year and I was going to get healthy and start exercising. Can I tell you that man almost killed me? He did bodybuilding. That's the first thing. He was a bodybuilder and body was really great. But I don't know what he thought he was getting with me. Whatever it was, when I tell you, I was so sore after one session that I couldn't go back for a week. And here's what surprised me on the first session, because we went to the gym and he was showing me all of the machines and telling me where to start and everything like that. But the first session, the man is saying, you got to watch your form. I'm like, dude, what is a form? So talk to me about why form is so important when you're exercising.
Well, I will get there. I heard a whole lot
You did.
that I just want to address from for a second. And there are a lot of people out there who call themselves trainers, and I feel like that is one of the downsides of the fitness industry. And there are just people who put you through a workout, but really, what should happen is a fitness evaluation and assessment where the person who is designing your program understands where you are, understands your level of fitness and where you are. And if they're going to introduce an exercise to you, it should be a discussion first of what this exercise is for, and then showing you the proper form versus expecting you to already know it, because that's the thing. You are learning, and I'm sorry, I am a coach, but I also get coaching, because even though you are an expert or have expertise, when you're performing an exercise, like, we all get lazy and all of our forms slack. So everyone needs coaching. So it's like, there shouldn't just be this automatic expectation that you're going to have the perfect form. There should be some teaching first. So within that personal trainer, fitness coach, whatever you want to call it, it should be a learning process first. Then first learning you, learning your body, learning where you are, and learning what you need and understanding what you need. And then training you by teaching you proper form, proper technique. So
Yeah.
I had to say that first before I talk about proper form. And yes, proper form is very important, because body mechanics, you want to make sure that you're not being, because these are muscles, joints, tendons, ligaments, loading the muscle in a form that's not the proper technique, because you can get injured.
Mhm.
For one thing. And then you want to make sure form that you're training the muscle as effectively as possible. So if form is off, you could be, for example, squat form. If that's off, you could be putting yourself in a very dangerous position of a back injury or a knee injury. But then thinking about some other ways or other techniques as far as form, you want to make sure you're loading the muscle properly to get the most effective workout as possible. So that's why form is really important.
Yeah. Well, I injured myself and never went back to him. That was it. Yes. I wasn't going to pay anybody to hurt me like that. I mean, when I tell you I was in some type of pain, and I won't get graphic, but going to the bathroom was a thought that I had to actually say, okay, do you want to drink that water? Because you're going to have to go to the bathroom. Sitting was just difficult. My daughter had the best time because I was walking as if I was 90 years old. I was so sore. And that's the one and only time he ever got to train me. Terrified me. I'd never been back. Yeah, but thank you for
Well,
saying that, because I do see and I do know that he definitely didn't start with me the right way.
yeah.
I should not have been in that much pain. So one of the things that I know about you is you maintain a graceful, peaceful, calm attitude regardless to circumstances. And we've been in quite the circumstances, yet you have always maintained your cool. And I know that's attributed to the mindset. So talk to us a little bit more. You've given us some tips about the things you do for mindset. What else can we do to help improve that mindset? Therapy, even, what would you advise?
I think first, it's a spirituality thing for me, with knowing at the end of the day, God's going to work it out for me, right? So that's my first thing. But then other things happen, and I do meditation. I meditate daily, with just a focus of mindfulness, being able to calm my mind. And that when there are those situations, because you've seen you've seen me at times where there were those situations, it's going back to that, right? And trying to stay. There are going to be times in life puts us in a spot where it's reactionary, and that's all we have to do. But trying to stay in a space where it's can keep me as proactive versus reactive as possible.
Yeah, yeah, and I do. I know exactly what you mean, and I do. I see you demonstrating that all the time, consistently, and I know that has a lot to do with your overall general health, which is fantastic. Um, you know what? I've got one more question for you, and then I'm going to let you share anything you want to with us. Talk to your younger self. If you were to tell your younger self anything about being holistically healthy, you've achieved it, but what would you have told your younger self?
That is a really good question. And I would have told myself, I've definitely learned this over the years, but I would have told my younger self, healthy is not just about working out and what you eat. It's also about your mindset. It's also about mental and emotional and spiritual would be one thing. When I was younger, I didn't yet have the the holistic piece yet. I kind of looked at it just as a part of the puzzle with health being the physical and looking at it as far as diet and exercise. And then the other piece is it's a journey, not a destination. And it's not something you just get to one day. It is a it's a practice and it's a daily practice. And that's what it is. You don't just one day wake up and click a button and say, okay, I'm healthy. It is an intentional practice.
Yeah, that's so true. That would be great advice, young people. So if you're listening, definitely take that under consideration because you see the results of what that healthy mindset will lead to. And I'd strongly encourage everyone to avail themselves of that. All right, well, let's talk about some fun stuff. What's going to be our new name? What's it changing from Rabel to what?
It's gonna stay Rabel.
Are we that independent that we don't even take the man's name?
Well, I already took his name when I married him um, in 2007. So I am marrying my ex-husband, and I actually never, when I got divorced, changed my married name back to my maiden name because I kind of had a feeling. But so I kept my married name, and so my name will not change. It'll stay Kaye Rabel.
It will. It is. And that's the great thing. I am so very, very happy for you. It could not have happened for a better person. Well deserved. God knows that you've worked really hard. So I'm proud of you. Always will be. And you're going to have an open invitation because, of course, we're going to need you for other healthy topics. Healthy holistically is the first one, but I already know you'll be back for several other topics because you're just a wealth of information, a wealth of knowledge, and we certainly appreciate you around here. Thank you so much for sharing. Any last words before I let you go?
No, I just again honored that you thought of me and wanted me to share what I'm up to in life. I'm really excited. If anyone has questions, happy to field any questions and be a blessing to others.
And you are a blessing to all of us. Where can we follow you? What's your social handles?
You can find me on Instagram as KR Fit, and that's the main one. I spend most of my time. I don't have TikTok, so I'm a IGer. So
Yes.
if you want to find me, there's also information on there. I have a book about time management as well as health and well-being. And so if you want to find out more about that, you can follow me on Instagram, and there's links to those titles as well. So That's
We will be
pretty exciting.
including all of her links to the books. She does have two books available, and one I know is going to be a blessing to everybody, Mental Health and Wellness. I will put links to that. Is it available anywhere, Amazon specifically? Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
Amazon. If you Google or search me on Amazon, both of them will come up.
Okay, fantastic. And I'll be sure to include the links to them both as well. Any upcoming projects that you want to share with us besides the nuptials? I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun.
Um, I do have another book that I'm baking, but it's it is my those other 2 are we would call them nonfiction. It is a fiction piece. It's my first fiction piece that I am working on, and I'm very excited about it because, uh, I am not the main character, but there are
Ooh,
definitely some influences from my life as well as, someone on a spiritual journey. So I am really excited about that. So stay tuned for that.
that's exciting. And I will. And definitely when you get ready to launch, we definitely want you back to help you promote it. And we will keep the word going because you're such a blessing. And I'm excited to see the work that's coming out of you. Well, thank you everyone for joining us this afternoon. It has been a great and very wealthful of knowledge. I appreciate you, Dr. Rabel. And we're going to let you go because I know your day is very long and healthy. Remember, hold everyone at levels that honor you. Bye bye. Thank you. See you later.
Speak soon.